What's up, pedal nerds, nerdillas, nerdines, and you guys? I wish I could tell you something about the Sovereign as far as what it's based on, if it's a to-be screamy kind of thing, or... I can't. I don't know what it is. It's just a pedal that goes... Okay, and it does it well. So let me tell you what I see. Soft clicky switch, which is nice. It can be fed with 9 to 18 volts. Right now I'm in the Strymon Zuma, and luckily the Zuma has two outputs that can be switched from 9 to 12 to 18, and right now we're feeding it with 18. Let's see if it makes any difference. Should increase the headroom. That's what that does. All Wampler pedals can do that, except that. All Wampler pedals can do that, except for the Thomann. So, we have gain and tone and volume. Those are normal. The gain can be pushed tremendously with this boost switch, which is kind of misleading because there's gain and boost. Boost and no boost, I don't know. Just when you need more gain, boost them shits out of it. Vintage and modern is pretty much a bright switch, and it works exactly as advertised. It gives you a more vintage or more modern sound. I'm going, as always, to begin with, into the Carl Martin Custom Shop 50, which is, wait a second, that's camera, and it's right there. It's a very nice, clean, stable amp. And I'm using Murple, because Murple is flexible enough to show this flexible pedal. Murple! There we are. She's a Frameless Pantera 2 Master Build Custom Shop. If you see me pull this, that's single coil. Okay? Seymour Duncans, don't ask me which ones. This guitar is absolutely gorgeous with its black Carina back and neck. It's a nice guitar. So, we're going to start over here. We're going to start with little gain, and we have the clean sound of the Custom Shop 50. That is very nice. Very nice. It's a very nice. When a pedal says distortion, I don't expect it to be a great overdrive. I don't expect the low gain stuff to work. Let's see if it does. I would like a little bit more mids there. Then we're going into the more classic-y vintage kind of area. That's nice! Come on. imagine that's a really cool country. Which I can't play. So, single chord, the humbucker. Oh, did I tell you what I'm doing? Oh yeah, this into a Ditto X2, into a Sovereign, into a tape echo if we need it, into the Carl Martin, into a Torpedo, not live, a Torpedo Studio with a 412. I'm sorry I didn't mention that. But you're probably not here for the first time. Trust me, we'll get to that. So, more gain. As always with Wampler pedals, very wide-ranging tonal controls for complete flexibility and diversity. So, we're gonna stay in vintage, we're gonna crank up boost for more gain. Humbucker. That stuff in modern. Which is one of the problems of the Sovereign. It has sag. It pumps. If you push it too hard, it curls up into a little kind of a, fetal position and says, no more! It's similar to the catapult. But much worse than the catapult. So, what Wampler suggests is dial back the volume. Or get the pickup further down. Well, pickup further down is absolutely not an option because I want that guitar to sound the way that I want it to sound. And getting the volume down, yes, that is an option. But it's not a great one. Let's see what Brian has to say to that later when we talk to him. So, volume down. that works rather well, but you gotta dial it in just right. Blah, blah, blah. Enough. Let's go get a nice sound and pump it into a couple of different amps. God damn it. Let's compare the clean sounds first, so you have a much better idea of which of these amps applies to the amp you have, which is closest to the one that you are calling your own. We're starting with the Carmarthen, and I'm gonna show you with titles what's happening here. So there you have it. Hopefully that gave you a little bit of an idea of how it will work for you. Let's talk to Brian. We're talking for half an hour. So anyway, Brian just said on this, some guitars could possibly push it too much into compression, which is why it has a sag switch to get that effect down. I did the demos for the Thomann website of the Plexi Drive Deluxe and the Sovereign. Mm-hmm. And I noticed on the Plexi Drive, it does that. It really, it pumped, and I was playing it, anything Plexi-ish, I play with the PRS SE245, like a traditional LP-type guitar.
Right.
PRS, they have a little bit more output, usually.
Right.
There's usually a little bit of a problem with pushing a little bit too hard. And what I want from a Plexi pedal is, I want to play my rock stuff with a low E.
Right.
And every time you hit that E, the pedal kind of pulled back a little bit. And I was like, what am I doing wrong here? But I just thought, okay, maybe I don't get it. And then I got this, and this did the same thing.
Because both pedals are based around what we call mu amps, which is just, it's a gain structure.
Okay.
It's just a type of gain circuit. And yeah, you're right. If you hit it with too hot of a signal at a certain frequency, then it's gonna really compress out.
Yes.
Basically, the stage oversaturates.
And what I did when I had this on the table, I'm like, oh, it's doing this again. So I got to call these guys up. And I called your tech support guy. Mm-hmm. I don't know who I had on the phone. And he said, yeah, that's what they do. And he said the Plexi Drive, you have a mod for it that you could do. But on this, there's nothing you can do. So I'm like, how do I?
No, we can. That's confusing because that's not true.
Okay.
I mean, anything can be modified. Well, to a point. You know what I mean? I mean, if it's a strictly DSP pedal, then, you know, that's not going to be able to be modified nearly as easy as changing a couple resistors. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I mean, it's just, that switch is just limiting what that first stage is going to see. So yeah, a modification could be done to the Sovereign to do that.
But I mean, the thing is, there's other pedals definitely in your arsenal that will get me something that doesn't have that effect without having to buy this and mod it. I'd rather just buy a different Wampler pedal. So
right.
It kind of feels as if that is something that you kind of meant this pedal to do. It could also be, how to say this, how you're approaching pedals. Like when I talk to Walrus, their distortion pedal, when I hear distortion, I'm thinking transparent, attack. Their distortion sounds like a big blown up fuzz kind of a thing. And everything they do is they attack it with single coils. So obviously it's from their point of view. Just like Chris's pedal, who's back on the couch. His stuff is, he's playing sludge, everything is fuzzy. It's not in my understanding. It's not my world of sound, which is why he was here for the demos, so that he could tell me how he thinks about what a pedal should do. Because it's so far away from how I think. What I did, though, for the Thomann demo for this, I did have to kind of pull back on my playing. Yeah,
you can also roll your volume knob down just a smidge. It'll have the same effect, or similar effect.
So I felt like it is distortion, and it wants to blow up and scream, but I felt like I'm pulling back on my playing so that it doesn't do the compression, and I felt like I want to push it more. So since I haven't filmed the demo that you guys already have seen, because this is after the demo, again, wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey kind of Doctor Who kind of shit. So Brian's now going to tell me something that I've already done. Oh, wow, this is complicated. How would you recommend I approach this? I can't just say I'm not going to play it with humbuckers. That's not going to...
Right, no, see, I mean, and I actually use a Les Paul quite a bit, so it's not all humbuckers. And I can't even really say it's all PRSs. It's just, I haven't been able to actually pin down exactly the scenario. It just seems like, this guy had this guitar with these pickups in it, and it happened on this amp. So I mean, it's not going to happen to every setup. So like, for example, I use a Les Paul a lot, which of course has humbuckers in it. So, and I don't have that problem with it, but I know other guys may have, a Les Paul with these other pickups, and it may do that. I haven't really been able to find like the constant string of, 1 + 2 always equals 3. You know what I mean?
Maybe it was just then the combination that I had, and I have to play around with it before I do the demo.
Try a couple of different guitars and see what happens.
Okay.
Like I said, you can lower your pickups down a little bit if you want to. I hate to tell people to do that, but that is one way to get rid of it. Lowering your volume on a guitar will get rid of it temporarily. Ordinarily, what I do if someone contacts me and says this is what's happening, I ask them what gear they're playing. And there's times I'm like, you know what, you just got the wrong tool for the job. You needed a screwdriver and you got a hammer. Yeah. So so I'll recommend, hey, why don't you try this or this or this or even this other brand's pedal? You know what I mean?
Which is props to you for doing this. And you always, I really love this. You post things. Whether it's on Facebook or Instagram, whatever, and you show, like, you buy other brands, and you are a gear nerd. You are a pedal nerd.
I have a bad addiction problem, and it happens to be to guitar gear.
I mean, you're not just a guy, I make pedals, I make money with them, whatever, but you're also, you like this stuff, and you openly say, hey, this company made a great pedal, which is very cool. I mean, I really have to say,
thank you.
Very much appreciate that.
Yeah, I love gear just like everybody else. It just so happens I get to create stuff.
Well, thank you, Brian, for joining me and standing my very, very tough questions. Well, I love that Brian says, hey, if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you, then maybe get a different box. Personally, here's what I think. Incredible flexibility in the Sovereign. I love the low gainy sounds with the mid contour a little bit up. In vintage, absolutely great. They just pop out. It's really, really cool. I like the high gainy sounds. Actually, I like everything. It can be a little bit muddy, schwummy in the bass. But the flexibility of this one little box is mind-blowing. It's great. You can get anything from screaming, singing leads to very, very modern, more harsh, high bitey sounds out of it. The gain range is phenomenal. Yet, it's tough to say yay with that sag going on, because really most of my humbucker guitars, once you go into the bridge position and you hit that low E, the pedal's gonna say, oh, no. That's too much! Okay? Actually, exactly like that. That's what it says. So I'm thinking, if you're willing to dial back your volume, fine. Maybe you have a minus pedal. Orion Effector makes a minus pedal, which simply takes the volume down. If you have a way to tame it, fine. What are the chances you're only going to play this with single coils? Maybe you do. Maybe you play it with a Tele or a Strat or related S or T type. It's possible. Then fine. Use the low gain sounds, the mid gain sounds, all good. Just be warned that when you want it to be a screaming, punching, my god, I have gain and balls pedal, that it will react that way. Which is, it's kind of sad. If it didn't do this, I would be all over this and saying, holy shit, get this as your weapon for many, many, many sounds. But since it reacts to more higher output guitars that way, I would say test it with your guitar and see how it reacts, and dial in the sounds that you're looking for. And if it can perform these well, go get it. If not, look for another pedal. Wampler has a huge range of drives, so you might find one, and you will find one, that doesn't react that way. But it could work fine for you. Okay? All links that you need to know are under this video. Also to my Patreon account, if you want to support me, that would be appreciated. And thanks to Peter Ahrens from Ampete. I have to show you the remote. Come on, you haven't seen it. Here is the remote. Remote. Can you see the remote? Remote. This is just, it's not a subtle remote, but I can just switch between cabs and amps from right here. Ampete 88S. If you're in the market for a switcher like this, check it out. There's also a 4-amp switcher, which has built-in loop. So you wire in the loops of all amps, and you can have all your pedals looped into the loops of the amps and switch that with MIDI on stage. So have 4 amps on stage and use them willy-nilly as if they're just different sounds. Killer. Thank you, Peter. See you guys on the flippity flop. Now to some animals.